Hi, and today I'm going to do something different. Every once in a while I kind of get up on my soapbox and write what I call sometimes a people's voice or political essay about some topic that has piqued my interest. And today I'm going to read to you one of my political essays, and this one is called State of the World. And I wrote this maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when I first heard about the proposed stimulus package that we actually are, and the government now is in the process of approving as we speak. So I'm just going to read to you the words that I had written, and the stimulus package initially, when it was proposed, it might be a little bit different from what it ended up being, but this is based on what the original proposal was. So, this is what I wrote. State of the World. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what is happening at the federal government level in our country. I'm looking at scenarios and consequences of various economic stimuli and closures that have been proposed. First, I'll list the proposals, then look at the long-term effects of each scenario. So, these are things that have been proposed or have actually some have already been enacted. The waiver of rent payments, waiver of mortgage payments, postponement of eviction, postponement of foreclosure, postponement of driver's license renewals, suspension of social activities, suspension and closure of gyms, fitness centers, parks, dances, recreational facilities, entertainment venues, unemployment initiatives, cash payments to individuals, closure of schools and daycare centers, subsequent closures of businesses, military enforcement of containment and quarantines, shelter in place, stock market freefall, bailout of the travel industry. Now, the next section of my little paper here is about long-term effects and the effort to reconcile the effects on the economic downturn. Okay, so I have 3 items listed here. Long-term effects of isolation, social, physical, and psychological. Emotional impact of postponement of marriages, bar mitzvahs, christenings, baptisms, funerals, and religious activities. And then the after-event scenarios down the road when we are able to move past this. What will be the state of affairs at that time? Well, now here are my own personal thoughts. This is regarding the issue of non-payment of rent, mortgages, debts, and utility bills. I've had experience as a landlord dealing with someone getting behind in rent payments. Most of the time, it ends up in an eviction when the amount due becomes unsurmountable. But in those limited cases, it was just one tenant in a building, not all the tenants. If the debt becomes unsurmountable and eviction is not allowed, eventually there must be a bailout of the debts of the landlord, and then the effects of non-payment at the level of the mortgage companies. Even trying to track down who owns the mortgage today is difficult. Mortgages are bought and sold, and who gave you the first mortgage may not be who owns it today. Because I can't see these debts ever being paid, in the end, squatters' rights will be upheld. That old adage, possession is 9/10 of the law, will be in effect. This will result in total chaos, with enforcement of existing laws impossible. Social discord may result in unrest and possible rioting in the streets as a result of the lawlessness. If social discord is left unabated, I can see military intervention taking place. That will result in martial law being enacted, and the plethora of internment camps that are currently starting to be used to house patients with coronavirus, and also some of the homeless populations in the larger cities. And at that time, down the road, it might be used to house the multitudes. And I've been hearing about fears of our lack of gun control in the U.S. under these circumstances. When you throw personal gun possession into the mix, the scene may become lethal. This vision brings to mind the many futuristic movies that I've seen where bands of thieves are fighting each other for space and food. It will be a battle between the haves and the have-nots on a very primitive level. It seems the very rudimentary aspect of a capitalistic society, that of ownership of property, will be at stake. If that right of ownership dissolves, then will the government own everything? What does that bring to mind? Perhaps a socialistic society or even a communist state might emerge. The very core of democracy is being challenged. Well, that isn't a pretty picture. Are we capable of coming together to fight this common enemy, COVID-19? Will a new world order emerge? Political, social, and economic? What if more permanent interventions prevent that scenario from happening? We know that past civilizations have been wiped out, some by natural phenomenon like asteroids, supervolcanoes causing solar winters, geologic and magnetic pole shifts causing massive tsunamis, solar mass ejections causing electrical grid collapse, and geologic events causing continents to rise and fall. We know our fragile Earth has been the victim of these cyclic catastrophes. Well, what's in store for us? What's going to happen to our Earth because of this pandemic that is streaking like wildfire across our world, not just countries, but the entire world? Well, thank you for listening to me and tolerating me up on my soapbox this time. And I really encourage you to respond to these words that I've spoken to you. Analyze them, criticize them, combat them, rebut them, and do that by commenting below. And I thank you for watching.